Happy Thursday, Flosstube. Hello, crafty friends. How's everybody doing today? My name's Caroline. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about cross stitch. All about cross stitch. I've got so many things to tell you about today. So, and I have an FFO, believe it or not. I have an FFO that I think is probably one of my favorite FFOs to date. I can't wait to share it with you. I have an almost finished whip, an almost finished sock, and a few other whips in progress, works in progress that I've got ready to share with you. Also a gift, a very special gift that I was given. So yeah, it is Thursday, March 23rd, 2023, and I am recording here in London, Ontario, Canada. My dog Luna is, as always, beside me here today. She's just been fed. It is 4:30. I fed her half an hour early today because I thought then she would, well, I know she will sleep while we have a little visit. So I have made a lot of notes for today because I have a lot of things to remember to tell you about. If you're new here, I am the owner of Evertote, a small business, and I sell lots of cross-stitch related items as well as project bags. In the month of December last year, I hosted a stitch along that was based upon a an advent countdown style box that I sell here through my business. And so I'm bringing it up today because I'm just talking about the daily videos that accompany that stitch along happen here on this channel. And if you followed along last December and you'd like to join in again this coming December 2023, those countdown boxes are available on our website, which is www.evertote.ca. We still have some available. I know Jacob DeGraff, Modern Folk Embroidery, was just speaking about them on his most recent video. Did you see his most recent video? If you haven't seen it yet, wow, he's got some new designs and a couple of new sampler designs out, and wow, I mean, when he showed off the originals, I don't know about you, but my jaw just dropped. They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. Phenomenal designs. I have a little giveaway to do today. You may remember, and of course, let's not miss the opportunity to show off my stitching, my finish. I finished the C is for Coffee by Heartstring Samplery. I finished this chart on March 14th, and so I used my own Roxy Floss Co conversion, 32 count fabric, 2 threads of floss over 2. I also subbed in, I made a mistake. I was working on the fill-in and I filled in the entire cup, and so then I just stitched right over top of it. I put a heart in there instead. Just stitched right over top. And I love how this turned out. It's really fun. So it's in my finishing pile for a future date. I saw the greatest finish. Somebody on the Facebook group, it's called Friday Off the Grid, if you'd like to join us over there. Somebody on the Facebook group posted their finish, and they had purchased I don't even know what to describe it. It was like a decoration that you would, I don't know, like a trivet or something, but it had these kind of ornate wrought iron filigree sort of things coming off all 4 sides. It was a circle, so from 4 sides there were these metal works coming out of it, and then they mounted their stitching right in the middle of it, and it was like perfectly finished. Like they'd put piping around it, and then they backed it on 2 different layers of fabric. I wish I could show it to you. If you're in the Facebook, the Friday Off the Grid group, maybe just have a little scroll through. It was from a little while ago. maybe a week ago on the group. Beautiful finishing, but really, really a creative way to finish this piece. Yeah, I love seeing other FFO ideas that are different like that. Just how you can look at just a regular item in the shop and think about how you can put cross stitch on it as a finished thing, as a decoration. I think that's so cool. But anyways, my giveaway today is the chart. I'm finished with it. I'm ready to pass it on. So if you would like to stitch this chart, leave me a comment below with the word coffee in it. It's all you need to do. And I will choose a winner in 2 weeks, the next time I record a Flosstube video here. So yeah, put the word coffee. There's a lot of sirens today, so I'm not gonna pause every time there's a siren going by. I work on a very, very busy street here in London. Oh, and so speaking of giveaways, currently we have a giveaway going on our workshop channel, which is where I have a joint floss tube with Carrie of Roxy Floss Co. That is on the Evertote Notes from the Workshop YouTube channel. There's currently a giveaway over there on the last video that we just did, our most recent floss tube together. I think it is episode 11. I'll put a link in the drop down box below. There's a giveaway on that video for a special piece of 28 count fabric. It's a one-of-a-kind dye and a 5-pack of Roxy Floss Co floss. So if you want to pop over and watch that video, I think the giveaway that I think I talked about it kind of at the end of that video. So anyways, I'll leave a link in the drop down box below, but I'm not going to choose that winner until next Thursday. So you've still got a week to join that giveaway. If you're entering any giveaways on this channel, please know, and I know that a lot of other YouTube channels are having the same issue with scammers and people leaving you comments and you believe that it's coming from me, that you have won a prize. It's not. The only way I'm ever going to announce a winner is here on the video. I will announce the winner live. I won't leave you a comment. I won't ask you to fill out anything. I won't ask you to give me any personal information. I would never ask you to send me money or fill out personal financial, none of that. It's never me, not me at all. So in 2 weeks, I'll announce the winner. You'll hear it here on the video, and then I'll tell you, you can email me with your information and I'll send you the chart. Keyword is coffee. That was a really fun stitch. I did that one in 4 weeks, and I know it's a small chart, and I know a lot of people could have stitched it a lot faster, but it was really fun to not feel pressure about it at all, and take my time and just do a little bit every day and watch how it progressed and finished in a month. That was really fun. Those of you who know me well know Hannah as well. Hannah is my head admin assistant here at Evertote. Many of you have spoken with her via email, or maybe you met her at Stitch North or on Instagram. Hannah handles a lot of the social media work that we do. She does a lot of our postings on our Instagram page, which is at Evertotes. Well, Hannah is a doctoral candidate at our local university, which is Western Ontario here in London, and she is doing a music PhD. I'm not going to get the wording right, but anyways, long story short, Hannah is performing her very first recital. One of her requirements, I think she's required to do 2 or 3 throughout the term of her studies, and her very first one is coming up. It's on April the 1st, and the reason I'm telling you about this is because there's going to be a link that you, if you would like to, if you know Hannah, if you love Hannah, if you heard Hannah last year at Stitch North, she sang for everyone. She's a coloratura soprano, And I think she's fabulously talented. I think she's amazing. And if you would like to tune in, you can watch her recital. You can watch it live. I will provide a link in the drop-down box below. So on April 1st at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you are welcome and have been cordially invited by Hannah herself to join in and watch her recital and wish her well. So I'll leave a link in the drop-down box below. The next thing I want to talk to you about is a who, not a what, but Yasmin. YasminBMadewithLove. Many of you will know her from her YouTube channel and her Instagram page and her Etsy shop. And if you're not following her, I will leave all of her links down below so that you can check out her designs. She's a newer designer, but I love the things that she's coming out with. So the reason I'm sharing about Yasmin today is, so she signs her emails Yas. So I'm gonna call her Yas because it feels like it's a friendly thing to do. So Yas is running a marathon to raise money. And if you've been here for a while, you know that that holds a special place in my heart because last year, my husband John ran the New York City Marathon and raised money for the Brain Aneurysm Foundation of the US. And so Yas is running a marathon in the UK. She is a UK-based cross-stitcher and designer. And so she's running a marathon. I can't remember exactly when it is, but you know, she's got all of the details in all of her postings and all of her videos about it. But I'm here to talk about the fundraising for Yas and the different charts that she has available and ways that you can help her finish raising her money for her goal, because guess what? She's so close. She's at 85% of her goal raised. She's trying to raise 2,500 pounds, and I think she's sitting at around just over 2,100 pounds raised. The money is being raised towards a charity called MenCap, which is a UK-based charity for supporting those with learning disabilities. And so go and check out Yas, go and check out her videos, go and check out all of her fundraising information and the work that she's been doing to raise money for this charity. I donated money directly to her. I think it's called Just Giving is the site that's used for her fundraising. She has links that you can find directly in her Instagram, on her Instagram profile. So if you just go to her homepage, and she's got a link tree, and in that link tree, she's got it listed right there where you can click and you can go directly to her fundraising page. So that's how I donated money. I just donated directly to that fundraising page. But another way that you can help is you can purchase one of her charts that she has available. She has four designs that she is selling where the proceeds are going to be donated to add towards her tally. And I'm going to show you a fifth design because she sent me a little gift. She sent me a little thank you gift, and I think this sampler is so pretty that I wanted to share it with you. And I'm going to show you one of her newest designs that she has out as well. So let me just tell you about these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the photos of them on the screen here so that you can have a look at her charts while I'm telling you their names. So the first one is, now these four in order, all of the next four charts are available for fundraising purposes. So if you purchase one of the next four charts, proceeds of these, now I'm not sure if it's 100% of the proceeds or, you know, she's going to have some costs involved in selling. We know that, right? Etsy fees and things like that. So I'm not sure if it's all of it, but some proceeds of the sales of these charts are being directed towards her charity. So the first one is called The Uniqueness of Others. And the next one is called Tulips and Stars. After that, we have Never Forget. It's hard to pick a favorite, but I do I do love these birds. I love these birds. Aren't those the sweetest birds? I love the bright color. I generally love the bright colors in all of Yaz's designs. I think they're beautiful. So that's called Never Forget. And the last of the fundraising charts is called The Key to Growth. So there you have it. Those are the 4 charts that Yas has available, pattern purchases where those are going towards fundraising efforts. So the next chart that I wanted to point out, that's not a fundraising chart, but I think it's absolutely beautiful, just to highlight one of Yaz's designs, is the Polish band sampler. I think it is beautiful, and I know that Yas is currently stitching it. So if you check her out on YouTube, you'll see her current progress on that and many more. She is a prolific stitcher. She stitches a lot, and she's quite fast. So her videos are really loaded with a lot of really colorful, beautiful stitching. And last but not least, we're closing in on Easter time, and she has some amazing Easter, I'm gonna say this wrong, the traditional Polish folk Easter eggs, pisanki. I know that Ryan my guy is probably rolling his eyes because he's an expert on these eggs. Pisanki. You know what I mean? Those really beautiful special Easter eggs. So these designs are sort of based on that, and she stitched them on a red background, like a red fabric, and the colors of these designs just leap off the fabric, and the way that she's finished them is beautiful. She also has a tutorial video on how she did the finishing. So check her out if you want to help her reach her goal. She's so close, and I just know the community was just so supportive when John was raising money for the Brain Aneurysm Foundation. I'd love to see another runner reach their goal, and so if we can help push her to the finish line, I think that would just be fantastic. So thanks again. Thank you for considering a small donation headed Yaz's way. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you is not my finish, not yet, I'm saving it, but I received a gift last week, a very special gift. Do you remember a couple weeks ago I was sharing with you this? Remember I was showing you this? The Moravian star from Fabra Flare, okay? I purchased this, as a reminder, I purchased this from indigojunction.com. There's the information on the screen right there. And I remember this actually came in the mail really fast. This was like super fast. They must have shipped it same day. So basically what this is English paper piecing, and you sew them together to create that shape, okay? Now, spoiler alert, I did not start it. I read all the instructions, and then I got stuck with too much choice for fabric. So I've decided, I have made some decisions. Also, I've done lots of English paper piecing before, okay? Trust me, this is leading to the gift. Don't worry, I am going in a circle, I'm going in a Caroline circle, but in the end, we're gonna get to the gift. It came with the paper templates in it, right? These templates are a lot thicker than I've done hexagons before in the past, many hexagons. I have an almost queen-sized quilt, 3/4 finished, of all 2.5 inch hexagons. Yeah, it's a thing of beauty. It's a glorious thing of beauty. I started it before I started recording Flosstube videos, which was 6 years ago almost now. So I've done a lot of English paper piecing. These templates are much thicker cardstock than what I'm used to using, and I would normally just pierce my paper backings with my needle to baste my fabric on. These ones you need to glue them. You need to glue your templates on. These are a lot sturdier, so I'm not going to be sewing my things on. I'm going to be gluing them. So it's slightly different, but also there's two ways you can do it, okay? So it says that you can either, and frankly, their information on the back is misleading because it says your fabric yardage is that you need 5 different 1/4 yard cuts, or some options for pre-cuts. However, on the instructions, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either do this way, which is lots of different fabrics, or you can do this way, which, believe it or not, is actually only, well, I'm seeing more than 3. See, that doesn't make sense either, because it says 3 colors. It says that if you want to do the solid version, oh, I lied. It's cut 10 diamonds from 6 different fabrics. Okay, so yeah. So view A is the print version, 2 diamonds each from 30 different fabrics. So you have 60 diamonds total and 30 different fabrics. Or you have 60 diamonds with 6 different fabrics, 10 of each, right? So how do they get 5 different 1/4 yard cuts? How does that doesn't math, or does it? Math has never been my strong suit. However, that's neither here nor there. I've decided to do the solid version, which is 6 different fabrics, 10 diamonds from each. But see how they have the monochrome version? So that's what they're saying is that one there. But I also think that that is this one here. Let's get that to focus so you can see. See that? See how it's kind of holiday inspired? That's what I want to do. I want to do one that is all red and white, Christmas fabrics, 6 different fabrics like this. So I don't want it to be 30 different fabrics. I want it to be 6 different fabrics. So, and then I sort of bottomed out there. Because a lot of brain power went into that, even though it doesn't seem like it should have. It did. It was very strange because I thought, why is this taking me so long to make these decisions, you know? Anyways, so long story short, I haven't started it yet, but I have invested some thought time into it. Okay, so then last week, a customer who is now also a friend, her name is Val, and some of you will have met Val last year at Stitch North, and she's going to be there again this year. So if you're lucky enough to meet Val, consider yourself very, very lucky indeed. She brought me a gift. She came to the shop to pick up a couple of skeins of floss that she needed, and she brought me a gift. Not only did she bring me a gift, she brought a box of chocolates for everyone here at Evertote, which was just like, you know, amazing. So anyways, are you ready for this? Look at this. Look at that. How amazing is this, right? And frankly, she said it's because she watched me talk about this. Look at this bag. Look at this bag. Isn't it beautiful? She said she followed Vonna Pfeiffer's tutorial to turn the fabric panel into a bag. And it's beautiful. It's incredible. I'll tell you about the English paper piecing more in a minute when I've finished showing you about the bag, because that in itself is a whole other thing. But look at it. Look at the quilting on it. Look at the fabrics. It's amazing. It's absolutely perfectly sewn. So there is some Velcro. She said the hardest part of doing the bag was finding the brown Velcro. Because the Velcro even matches. So there's our opening. Now, are you ready for this? Because it gets even better. I mean, how could it get even better, right? But check this out. You ready? Look, attached here, there's a little bag. And it's on a carabiner. So it comes off. Look at it matches the big bag. It's amazing. notions pouch inside. And she knows that I like the little boxed corners, so she put little wedge corners on the bottom. I mean, it's beautiful. And the inside lining fabric, it's just a pale color. I love the light colors on the inside because you can see your projects. You can see what's on the inside. And she included some floss cards. I've already handed out some of the other extra ones she gave me to some of Val's other friends here at the workshop. But this is a view of South Beach, Marco Island, Florida. So, isn't that a great idea? I don't have her permission to show you the back, and it's got her email address on it, so I'm not gonna show you the back. But she has room for you to write your thread name, your thread color, and then also the location of the photo, so that you know where that is. You're getting a nice reverberation of the camera in this picture here. Let's see. Don't look at my horrible fingernails. I know, now that I've said it, all you're gonna be able to see is my fingernails. There. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, Valerie. So, Val, you would just punch a little circle in the bottom and then hang your floss off of it. So, it's such a beautiful gift. So, anyways, this bag, Val was telling me all about it, and trust me, I think this is a whole other rabbit hole that I'm going to have to look into. She made this bag using something called ink lingo. And if I'm not mistaken, this was developed by a small Canadian business. And what you do is you use an inkjet printer and you print grid lines right on your fabric using an inkjet printer. You print out grid lines on your fabric, lines for cutting and for sewing. And that's what she used to make this. She said it was so much faster. I can't quite wrap my brain around how it works. So I've been a little afraid to go in and check it out because I have a funny feeling that I would have a really hard time getting myself out of it. I think it would be a really big rabbit hole because, I mean, come on. Look at how good that is. It's so good. It's perfect. It's beautiful, Val. Thank you so much for this treasure. I love it. I love it. It was such a surprise when she pulled it out of her bag and she said, I brought this for you. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, so yes, it's full circle. There we go. Caroline finally got to the point. It's beautiful. Okay, so let me just check my list and make sure that I didn't miss anything about ink lingo or anything like that. No. Okay. I am receiving another, this community, man, they really jump in and help. They help a stitcher in need. Last Thursday, I was talking with Carrie about a project. It's an old whip that I'm almost done. And I was talking about what I was going to pick up next that was really old from my stash pile, which is my my piece called Amtrak, which is designed by Sampler Cove. And I'm almost done. I am almost done. I just have the bottom band to finish. That's it. I mean, let's be real here, there's a lot of stitching in that. But still, when you look at the gigantic size of this piece, in perspective, it's almost done, comparatively. But I've lost the chart. And I was telling Carrie about this last week, and I said, you know, I know exactly where everything else is. I know where my whip is. I know where my floss is. I'm using a Vicky Clayton silks. I know where those are. I know where that is, but I cannot find my pattern. My pattern is gone. I've looked everywhere. I have scoured the house. I have scoured the workshop. I cannot find it anywhere. My fear is that someone at home recycled it. I can't explain it because it's gone. So I really think that it was just lost in the sands of time. It's been recycled. Now, I can totally understand if somebody did recycle it because it looked it looked like it was moth-eaten, and like I had dumped red wine on it. It was in sorry shape. So I'm not surprised that maybe somebody helped me out and got rid of it. However, that didn't help me to, you know, to finish this project. So I was talking about this, and I got an email that night from a good friend, Judy. Judy here in Ontario, who I've met several times, and she's been a longtime viewer. We became friends because of this this YouTube channel, and she emailed me and she said, I have that chart, I'll send it to you. Now the irony of that is that she probably has that chart because she was enabled by me many years ago to purchase it, and now she's mailing it to me. So I feel a little bit guilty. So I think I'm going to have to, just had a phone call. I was just finishing up telling you about Judy's generosity. Amtrak the chart is on its way to me. I think it's actually gonna be in my mailbox when I go home tonight. So I cannot wait to get back to that finally. So Judy, a huge thank you for reaching out and offering to send me your chart. I will be seeing you soon in a few weeks, and I will have a treat in return for you. Okay, one last thing to tell you about today, because it is Thursday the 23rd, we have a brand new release today coming out, a brand new collaboration here at Evertote that we have done with Nuri of Shaded Stitchery. And I'm going to talk more in detail about it next Thursday when we do our workshop video, Carrie and I together, because we will have started a WIP by then. But if you remember, I've told you about the data portraits in Paris, 1900. This was the Shaded Stitchery design that was a stitch along in the month of February, celebrating Black History Month. And I have not put any more stitches in mine yet, but it's here on my desk for me to enjoy the colors and put in a few more stitches soon. But we have a brand new collaboration out. Nuri's new chart is called My Necessity, and I think you'll agree that it is a lovely design, very meaningful. We all consider that the needle is part of our daily necessity. We all feel a little bit better if we've just put needle to thread just a couple of times, a few X's a day, right? So Nuri, it's been a pleasure working with you. We also have some new bags out in that collaboration, some cotton linen bags in that. They're beautiful, some of my favorites. I try not to make my Off the Grid Needlearts videos sales heavy. I try to keep this more of a personal space for me. So I don't want to talk about it overly much. I will pop in a few photos of our collaboration at the very end of this video. And again, you can tune in next week to the workshop channel where we'll be giving you all the details if you haven't seen it on Instagram or checked it out in the shop. Are you ready to see my FFO? I am so proud of this one, you guys. This is, bar none, I think this is hands down my favorite FFO to date that I've ever done. Can you believe it? I know, I've blown myself away. I love it so much. So let me tell you the details. If you've been here for a while, you'll recognize this piece. I finished this stitch, I don't know, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and it's just been sitting in my finishing pile. See, when you finally get it right, and you'll just be glad that you have that stack of finished whips that, you know, you're ready to just turn into something else. So the Cranky Owl bag that I made, I found this in my whip pile the other day when I was looking through a few things, and I thought that would be perfect in a bag too. So I brought it out, and I found this green fabric in my scrap bin from from projects that I had done in the shop here a few years ago, and it was the perfect green. And then I just quilted it in the same fabric that we've been using for some other bags that we're doing in the shop. And it's perfect. It's perfect. So this is an ink circles design, and it's called Forest Flower. I used all of the called for threads at the time, and I stitched it on a piece of 25 count even weave, 1 thread over 1. So I'm going to bring you in nice and close so you can see the stitching, because it's teeny tiny and absolutely perfect if I do say so myself. Now, to give full credit where credit is due, I quilted the front panel. I framed the stitching with the fabric. I framed the front of the piece, and then Matt here at the workshop turned it into the bag for me. So I have a little project bag. So this size of bag is actually quickly becoming a favorite to take things home back and forth in my purse. I love this finish so much. When it was done, I must have stared at it for 20 minutes, just sort of petting it. Yeah, I love it. Okay, so again, that's an ink circles design called Forest Flower. 25 count even weave, 1 over 1. So it is very, very small. I remember really enjoying that. I had to get into a groove with the stitching, I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't one that it wasn't easy to pick up and put down quickly, because I would very easily lose my place, or your progress is so slow because it's so tiny. When I did the final push, I did quite a lot at the end, all in one go, and then it worked. Like, it was a lot easier to do when you were sort of in the groove. But oh, I just love it so much. I'm absolutely tickled. So there's my big FFO. So staying along the same lines as ink circles, my other work in progress that I am going for a finish. I am going to work on this. It's not getting put away until it's done, and then I'm going to replace it with Amtrak as soon as it's done. This is my ink circles Damask Square. This one here. As you can see, my version is very different from the original, and it's almost done. Almost done. So close. I was really hoping it would be done for today. Like, I was really hoping. Last weekend I thought, I can get this done. I can have a huge FFO, and I'll have a finish, 2 FFOs, because once the stitching is done, this is done, because it's on a pre-finished fabric square. Now, I did say Jamie had left me a comment about Ubelore on finding Ubelore on Etsy. She just meant that she found the fabric made by the company Ubelore on Etsy, not the pre-finished fabric squares. I have not seen these available, so I'm sorry. However, if you tune in 2 weeks, I have another giveaway planned in 2 weeks. I'm saving it for when this is done. And spoiler alert, it's a fabric square. It's not a natural linen, it's white, but it is, when I'm finished this one, I'm gonna have a little celebration and give away the other fabric square that's from my stash. It's brand new, it hasn't been stitched on, it's brand new, it's been in my stash for a little while, but now I've done one, I'm gonna pass on the love. So I'm so close, so close to being completely done. Just one corner left, and I am using Dinky Dyes silk. I have to break into my last, I've got 1 length of floss left from the second skein. I had 3 skeins of it. This is my 3rd skein, and I have to break into the 3rd skein to finish the project. This is color 93, Pacific Ocean. beautiful blue. And so I'm almost done. I was asked, because this is my back, this is the back of the project, and this is the front. And I'm often asked when I show the back, how do you get your back so neat? What are your top tips and tricks? And really, the long and short of it is that I start and stop my threads by something called a Bargello tuck. So that's B-A-R-G-E-L-L-O. I run my needle underneath 4 or 5 other stitches. I bury the end of my thread under it, and then I take one more little tiny loop around with my needle, catching the very last bit of stitch that I've run. So it's kind of like 1, 2. So sew the thread underneath, bury the end right underneath those 4 or 5 stitches, and then take one extra little tiny stitch to anchor that thread down in the bottom, and then start your sewing on your stitching on the other side. That's when you have stitches around to start and stop. If you don't have start and stop stitches around close by, because you don't want to be carrying thread. Also, that's another thing, I don't really carry my thread very far, no more than 1 or 2 stitches. Maybe 3 if I'm pushing it, and if I know I'm not going to see it from the front. I'll use something called a waist or a way knot, which I actually have a tutorial video on this channel. I'll link to it in the drop down box below. It's a really, really handy way to start your thread when there's no stitching around to anchor it to. The other way is called the pin stitch. I'm working on getting Carrie to do a little video of her pin stitch over on the other channel. The other top tip, so that's my back that you're seeing. The other top tip is to never let a knot stay. Now this is if you care about what your back looks like. I am not the cross stitch police. I don't care what your back looks like. I'm only saying this if you care. I'm only answering a question for people who have asked me, not because I'm going to inspect your work. And I don't think we should inspect other people's cross stitch, unless of course you're entering it in a state fair or a country fair or anything like that, and you want to be judged, then okay, I'll judge you. But I'm not going to judge your work. But myself, I don't like, I like it to be neat for me. I like it to be neat for me. So I never let a knot go. I always undo knots. I always fix them. Yeah. That's it. That's it. That's all I do. There's no other tips and tricks that I could possibly think of other than that. That's it. So I'm almost done. Hooray! So that's my other ink circles. I also worked on, well, 3 other things. And I'm going to be really brief with this, okay? Because I know I said it was all about cross stitching, but there's always got to be a little bit of knitting. My sock, I'm almost to the toe. This is the Biscuit sock, sock number 2. This is my proof of life photo so that you know I'm still working on it. I have another inch or so to go before I get to the toe. This was another one where I was thinking I had 2 weeks, I could be done this sock by the next time I saw you. I'm not, but I'm almost done the foot. So baby steps. Biscuit sock, details are in the description box below about the yarn and the pattern. I talk about this one every video, so I really don't want to spend any more time on it today. Not until it's done. I worked on 2 other whips. One of them was a new start, and the other one was not a new start this week, but a new start from about a month ago. This is the Quaint Quakers number 1 by Quaint Rose Needlearts, and it's the spring chart, which I absolutely love. The pigs on this chart are my favorite. Look at those little pigs with the little Quaker medallions on the inside. I mean, honestly, even the teeny tiny little pigs have little motifs on their bellies, on their tummies. I mean, it's just adorable. It's absolutely adorable. And you know what? It's not very big. Now, I say that knowing that I'm stitching. Oh, the sun just came out. It's been gray and rainy and gross here all day, and oh, it's gone again. Yeah, it came out for like 2 seconds and now it's hiding again. I am stitching this on a piece of 46 count linen, so it was going to be small, but it's really not a huge chart once you get started. So I talked about this a little bit last week in my video with Carrie. I'm using some timers to help me make my way through some of my larger projects and my projects in general. So I'm using an app called Multi Timers, and I have 6 timers on my app, and I have given each timer a project, and I'm setting 6 hours for 5 projects of time, and then once that time is up, then that project gets put away and I can bring in another project and put 6 hours into the next project. So as you can see, Damask Square, I'm just over 5 hours. I've got an hour left, but I'm not putting it away. I'm gonna do it until it's done, and then I'll put Amtrak in there. Whether or not I work on Amtrak until it's done, I don't know. There's still a lot of stitching to be done in there. However, I've done Helsingland Blommer, Damask Square, Spring Quakers. I've actually put in 4 hours of work on Spring Quakers, and I have completely gotten to the bottom. I've done the bottom row, sort of. I mean, not all the stitching is done in it, but I've made my way entirely across the bottom border. So that is how wide the design will be. Now keep in mind, this is 46 count, so it's pretty tiny. And there's a nice close-up. You can see my stitching. I wanted to get the width of the piece done. And I was really hoping that I could have the first flower put in right there before I showed it to you today, but I just didn't get it done. But I'm really excited to start to see the colors come into this piece, because the floss pack that Macy chose is beautiful. The pinks and the greens, the colors are really beautiful. Now yes, there's a lot of black, but those colors just pop from the black, and I just think it's going to be so pretty when it's done. So it's a 46 count linen, Roxy Floss Co conversion on porcelain linen, and I'm stitching 1 thread over 1. Sorry, 1 thread over 2. 1 thread over 2. So that's about 4 hours of work since the last time I shared it with you. I think that's pretty good. So 2 more hours on this, and then I am going to trade it for hibernation day and put a little bit of work, put 6 hours of work into my heartstring samplery hibernation day. See, I love planning ahead, right? So you get to enjoy this. 6 hours is a good time limit for me. It seems to be working out quite well, because I do tend to lose focus. I know many of you are saying, shocking, Caroline, you lose focus. So having a dedicated set time, and then knowing that I can work on something else when I've put in my 6 hours, it's about right. So I'm thrilled, really thrilled. Okay, so I have only one last whip to share with you today. This was a new start for me. My next stitch along that I am hosting. This is the Friendship Sampler by my friend Ellen, Maximum Cross Stitch, and I love this sampler. I'm allowing myself 24 weeks total to finish this stitch along. I would like to be done this by the end of August of this year. So pretty lofty goals, because it is not small. It is not small at all. However, that's the plan. So based on how much stitching I did this week since I started it, I need to up my game a little bit. I have decided to not stitch the tiny people, only because I just can't decide who I would put there. I mean, how do I choose? I think of all the people like Judy sending me the chart, and Val giving me this, and my friend Ellen and Kathy and Neil and Hannah and Matt and Lee and all the people here at Evertote, and my family who are my best friends, and everybody, like everybody at Stitch North. How do you pick? I would be bogged down with indecision of who to pick. And so I'm not gonna stitch the tiny, I like what Ellen did. She chose, you know, as some of us are lucky enough to have little groups of friends, right? Stitching friends or reading friends or curling friends. If you curl, or if maybe you play baseball, or maybe you have a reading group. She picked a group of friends and she stitched the people that were represented in that group of friends. And I like that she did it that way. I just can't decide. And rather than be racked by indecision, what I am going to do is I'm going to use some of the extra little motifs that she's included and maybe make up a few of my own. I don't think Ellen would mind if I showed you this page. She's included a page in here with some different ideas, different motifs of things that you can stitch that would represent your friends, right? And she has included them so that you could stitch them as little tiny things beside the teeny tiny friend. But I think I'm going to choose a few, and I'm just going to stitch those as motifs to represent people in my life, groups of people in my life, people from my past who I miss and I wish I could spend more time with. Yeah, you know, a bottle of wine, remembering a night that you had a great conversation with a friend, things like that. So I think I'm going to do that instead. And I did mention this last week, I am not stitching the 1/1, I'm not stitching the 1/1 words in the cartouche. I'm going to stitch the 2/2, happiness attends the company of friends. Now, if you haven't heard, there's a small error, there's a little errata, it's missing a letter S. The correction is available as a freebie pattern on Ellen's website, which is www.modernfolkembroidery.com. Another one of my friends. Jacob, Ellen's is www.maximumcrossstitch.com, where you can find all of her other charts available as PDFs as well. I sell the physical copy in my chart, and I'm using a Roxy Floss Co version. So what I'm gonna do, because I'm not taking this off my scroll rods, it's staying on my frame, so I'm going to turn the camera around and show you my work right on my frame, because I want it to stay there so that I can get right back to it and put a few more stitches in this afternoon before I go home. It is already 5:45, so we'll see. Maybe while I'm editing, I can sneak in a few. Okay, I know. Try not to be overwhelmed with my start. But look, I started in the middle. So here's the chart, and I started with that section right there. You can see the little diamonds and the little vines with the little flowers in them in the middle there. And I cannot wait to stitch those birds. Those birds are so cute. So cute. I actually think that Ellen may have mixed around her stitching. She's got the lighter pink on the belly of the bird. So I'm gonna have to check that out. Hang on, let me just confirm that. Yeah, so I've just had a look at my chart because I was just, what I've been doing is I just write the colors right in my chart with pen. When I'm doing, you know, there's a huge floss list, and the floss list isn't on every page. I just write in on the chart what the color should be. And the belly, so if you're stitching this with the Roxy Floss Co conversion, the belly of that bird, sorry for the whoa there, the belly of that bird is marked that it should be stitched in raspberry puree, and then the tail feathers should be bebe. So actually she switched that around. The symbols should be that the belly is stitched in bebe, and the head and the tail feathers are stitched in raspberry puree. Not the other way around, because the raspberry puree is the darker color and the bebe is the lightest color.
So if you want it to match the cover model, you want the tummy of the bird to be the lightest. That should be Bebe on the tummy there. Cute. So let's get this to focus. And there's my little stitching so far. I am stitching this on 40 count. Is it porcelain or dirty porcelain? I think this is just, I can't remember. Isn't that awful? I think it's dirty porcelain. I'd have to take it downstairs and compare it to porcelain. I'm pretty sure this is dirty porcelain. Just love that. My needle minders, this is my friends. This is my Ohio needle minder from my friend Lori, who is My Crazy Life on YouTube. She's such a ton of fun, is Lori. And there's my other friend Jacob. Let's move those needles. You can see his face. There's Mr. Modern Folk Embroidery himself. So I need a needle minder with Ellen's face on it now, I think, to make things complete. So that is what I've done in a week. Kind of pitiful. My timer says that I've worked on it for about an hour and 20 minutes. So clearly I need to definitely spend some more quality time with this. And I will show it again next Thursday. All right, let's turn you back around again and say goodbye. My cheeks have gone a little bit flushed. Must be I'm all aflutter talking about my stitching. Anyways, that's it for me today. I think I have actually reached the end of my very long list of everything that I wanted to share with you today. I was so excited to show you my FFO. I'm so pleased with how it turned out. One more peek for the road. Look at. Honestly, don't we have the best hobby ever? It's just, it is the greatest. It's literally the greatest that we can make such beautiful things. I just love it so much. Love that ink circles. Tracy Horner, she's a genius. Love those patterns. Really, really beautiful. And in 2 weeks, I'm gonna have another one. It's gonna be done. So close. So it is now almost 6 o'clock. I've had to take a few breaks to do a couple of things during this video, so it's taken me a little bit longer to record than I expected. So hopefully I should have the video up by I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock this evening to have a little visit with you. And on that note, I will say goodbye. I hope that you're well. I hope that you've got some stitching to enjoy yourself. I hope that you've been stitching along with me while you've been visiting. And I will see you again next week over on the other channel with Carrie, over on the Evertote Notes from the Workshop channel. And I will leave you with a few photos from our new collaboration with Nuri of Shaded Stitchery. So take care, everybody. Have a great week ahead. Happy stitching.